Hi, welcome to Sport Fishing Magazine's Boat Tour videos. I'm your host, Dean Travis Clark, the executive editor of Sport Fishing Magazine, and I'm aboard a brand spanking new WorldCat 290 DC. Now, I'm one of the biggest proponents of power catamarans in the country. Why? Because they run so much smoother in rough water than any monohull. I've even taken these small boats across entire oceans. So why don't you come aboard, I'll give you the quick tour, and then we'll take it out for a test run. Let's start all the way in the transom. You'll notice we have a pair of 225 Honda 4-strokes. They're very clean, they're very fuel efficient, and they're very quiet. In the center, there's a great walkthrough. It's very wide with a built-in ladder, and you can in fact deploy it from the water. And you can have something that wide because on a multi-hull like this, the engines are much farther apart. That also makes maneuvering in close quarters a lot easier because the pivot leverage is much greater. Here, right on the transom, there are places for your knives and your pliers, a cutting board, a drink holder, rod holders, and then we have these fold-away seats. Now, if you're fishing, especially with these outboards on there, you want to be able to get the tip of your rod out past the engines. Well, you can do that here because you can get right up against the transom. But this is also designed as a family cruising boat. So if you have your family out, or if you're on your way to the fishing grounds and your guests want to sit down, a comfortable fold-away seat that goes up and down incredibly easily. And it's strong as an ox. It'll hold me. As I said, this is a family cruising boat as well. To that end, this fitting here holds a beautiful table. You can put it in the center, you can sit around it, put your cocktails and your hors d'oeuvres on it, but when you're fishing, gone, history. Let me show you a few details here. Rod holders in the gunnel. Look at this attention to detail. Nobody else has this. This is for when you're hanging fenders. Since there are no cleats or anything right here, there's your fender tie-on point. Here is another interesting, unique feature. These hold lures, all rigged, and this is for leader. Put the whole spool right on there. Anytime you need more leader material, just pull it off. And then this is access to one of your pumps and filters. We have 3 rocket launchers for rods on each side, each leg of the hardtop. Great handholds, lights for the cockpit, as well as storage areas for your life vests in the overhead. And then down here in this aft-facing module where you can sit and watch your trolling pattern, you have a big gasketed live bait well. On both sides of the overhead, you have great overhead storage boxes. It's a good place for your radios or a catch-all. And you have these really great new magnetic fasteners so that when it's open, it stays up there because of the magnet. There's one on each side. On this side, you have another one, plus breaker switches. Take a look at this helm. Binnacle has twin controls with the trim control on the thumb. Big space for flush mounting electronics. Honda has their electronic gauges, all your breakers, a tilting steering wheel, and look at this. With the edge of the seat up, it's a leaning post. With it down, it's a really comfortable seat. Underneath both helm seat modules, you'll find your hydraulic steering and pumps, making it incredibly easy to service them when you need to. Now, no family cruising boat is worth its salt if you don't have a place for people to go to the bathroom. On a dual console, that can be a challenge. WorldCat's done a fabulous job. Big space, fixed porcelain marine head, Corian counter, polished stainless sink, fresh water, your control for your stereo system, everything you need right there, even enough room to change your clothes. With all of this space given over to a head, what do you do for storage space? WorldCat puts it in the other module where you have a huge dry storage space plus a custom mount for your table so that it can be up out of the way. WorldCat knows for a fact that its owners take its boats offshore. And while it's all well and good to have a big wide space for you to access the comfortable seating in the bow, when you're offshore, you'll probably want to have times when you button this up. That means you can put an enclosure around the top, above the windshield. You can also block off the cockpit and the helm area from the bow with this door and the windshield closing on top of that. This 290 is a solid fishing machine, but it also represents just about the only bow rider I would ever consider taking offshore. And I gotta tell you, as bow riders go, this one's pretty darn comfy. This has an optional windlass. They all have an integral bow pulpit for your anchor. Plenty of storage up here in the bow, and then storage under every one of these seats. With the windlass, they put the anchor rod in here, otherwise it's dry storage. And then each one of these seats has a box under it. And this one over here has rod storage as well. So that's the Quick Cooks tour. Let's take off the lines and go out for a sea trial. The WorldCat 290DC topped out at 46 miles per hour at 6,100 RPM, burning 20.9 gallons per hour. That's really efficient. At a 4,800 RPM cruising speed, we reached 35 miles per hour using only 18 gallons per hour total. Again, very, very efficient. So that's WorldCat's brand new 290 dual console. Now, you really need to go to your dealer and take a sea trial with your family on a nasty, nasty day, because I promise you, your family will love you forever. There is nothing that rides like a catamaran. So get to your dealer today.